Action.
Demand is said to be elastic when a smaller change in price bring about a greater percentage change in the quantity demanded. Demand in this case is said to be greater than 1 and less than infinity. It can be graphically represented on a graph where you have price 1 and price 2 drawn to meet Q1, then price 2 drawn to meet Q2. We can see from here that the percentage change in price is little compared to the change we have in quantity. The next is inelastic demand. Demand is said to be inelastic when a greater percentage change in price bring about a little percentage change in quantity demanded. Demand in this case is greater than 0 but less than 1. This can be graphically represented on a graph where you have price 1 drawn to meet Q1, then price 2 drawn at far distance to price 1 to Q2. From here we can see that a greater change in price led to a smaller percentage change in quantity demanded. The next is perfectly elastic. Now we are moving to types of price elasticity of demand, which are unitary price elasticity of demand, which can also be referred to as unity price elasticity of demand. We have elastic price elasticity of demand, which can also be called fairly elastic. Fairly elastic. We have inelastic price elasticity of demand. We have perfectly elastic price elasticity of demand and perfectly inelastic price elasticity of demand. Now, the unitary price elasticity of demand. Demand is said to be unitary when an equal percentage change in price bring about equal percentage change in quantity. Demand in this case is equals to 1. And also in unitary elasticity of demand, now unitary price elasticity of demand. Unitary price elasticity of demand occurs when a percentage change in price bring about an equal percentage change in quantity. Sometimes it can also be called unity price elasticity of demand in explanation. That is, 10% increase in price will bring about 10% increase in quantity. Now, elasticity price elasticity of demand. Demand is said to be elastic when a smaller percentage change in price bring about a larger percentage change in quantity. This can be explained with a graph in this manner, where a smaller percentage change, price P1, lead to Q1, and price P2 lead to Q2. From this we can see that a smaller percentage change in price leads to a greater percentage change in quantity demanded. Demand in this case is greater than 1 and less than infinity. Now, inelastic price elasticity of demand. Demand is said to be inelastic when a greater percentage change in price bring about little percentage change in quantity. This can also be explained using a graph where a percentage change price 1 leads to, with Q1, where price 2 leads to Q2. From here we can see that a greater percentage change in price leads to little percentage change in quantity. Now, demand is said to be inelastic. In inelastic demand, elasticity is greater than 0 but less than 1. So we can have answers like is 0.5, is 0.6, is 0.7. For perfectly elastic price elasticity of demand, which can also be called infinite price elasticity of demand, occurs when no change in price, but there are greater changes in the quantity. In fact, in this level, every other factors that affect demand in this case other than the price. This can be explained when you have a graph of the price being fixed, because either there's no change in price, but there are different changes in quantity demanded. Demand in this case is referred to as infinity. Demand in this case is equal to infinity, showing that every factor that affects demand while price remains constant. The perfectly inelastic price elasticity of demand occurs. Next is measurement of elasticity of demand. Now we'll be using the price elasticity of demand coefficient to solve for elasticity of demand. Now here we are measuring the response of consumers as regards to variation or changes in price in calculations. This would be for coefficients of price elasticity of demand we have the formula to be changes, or we say percentage changes in quantity demanded divided by percentage change, or changes as the case may be, in price. This can also be represented as this. Delta here denotes changes, while QTD depicts quantity, while we all know P is price. To solve for the changes in quantity demanded, we have take two.
Okay.
To solve for percentage change in quantity, is equals to change in quantity divided by old quantity times 100% over 1. To also solve for percentage change in price, P, we have change in price divided by old price times 100% over 1. By old price, I mean initial price before the current price. And this can well be explained by looking at some illustrations. Now we have an example. But it is always very important that before we solve any question on elasticity of demand, it is essential that we put this into art. That when elasticity is equals to 0, demand is said to be unitary. When it is more than 0, that is, you have 0.1, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, elasticity is said to be inelastic. When elasticity is equals to 5, 2, more than 1, or infinity, as the case may be, it is said to be elastic. So looking at the example we have on the board, where they says the price of bread in 2001 was increased from 40 naira to 50 naira, and the quantity bought per week by a consumer decreased from 160 loaves to 80. The question says, present the above data in table. The other one says, calculate the coefficient of price elasticity of demand. While the last one says, what type of elasticity is this and why? Solving this, we have to consider a table. And what's a table? A table is a data or information present in rows and column. This can be represented like this, where you have the price, in naira, and the quantity. The price moves, the old price here is 40 naira, and at that point he was able to get 160 loaves. When the price increased to 50 naira, his quantity demanded decreased to 80 loaves. So by so doing this, we have solved one part of the question. Now moving to the next questions, which is calculate the coefficient of price elasticity of demand. We all know that the price elasticity of demand equals to percentage change in quantity demanded equals to percentage change in price. Now looking at the first question, looking at the question where we have an increase in the price from 40 naira to 50 naira, and the quantity bought per week by a consumer decreased from 160 loaves to 80 loaves. Here we'll solve for percentage change in quantity. And as I've said earlier, I said percentage change in quantity equals to change in quantity divided by old quantity times 100%. We can represent this by saying change in quantity. Change in quantity there is 160, which is the old, new is 80. Why? For price, old is equals to 40, while new equals 50 naira. 40 naira and 50 naira. Having brought out the parameters, we put this into the formula for percentage change in quantity, where we have 160, which is the old, minus 80, which is the new, divided by old quantity. Old quantity here is 160 times 100% over 1, where we have 160 minus 80, we have 80 over 160 times 100%, which will give us, here is 8, is 2, here is 50. So we have 50%. To solve for percentage change in price, you know we have change in price divided by old price times 100% over 1. The old price, change in price, talks about the old price and the new price, where you have 50 naira minus 40 naira divided by old price is 40 times 100% over 1. Here we have 10 all over 40 is 10 naira over 40 times 100%. 0 cancels 0. This one is 1. This one is 5. So for price elasticity of demand, we have 25%. Going by the definition of price elasticity of demand, that is the formula where we have percentage change in quantity demanded over percentage change in price, where we have gotten our percentage change in quantity to be 50% all over percentage change in price, which we got at 25%. Here percentage cancel percentage, 25 year 1, 25 year 2. Price elasticity of demand is 2 here. And don't forget, anytime we have any number that is above 1 is said to be elastic. So why price elasticity of demand here is equals to 2. Going to the next question, it says, what type of elasticity is this and why? Going by the definition I gave initially, where I said when elasticity is equals to 1, you have unitary elasticity, and when it's more than 0, you have it to be inelastic, and when it's more than 1, you have it to be elastic. Elasticity in this case is said to be elastic. And why? The reason why is because it's more than 1. The next is income elasticity of demand. This is the degree or extent of responsiveness of demand to variation or changes in the income. As consumers experience increase or decrease in their income, it will definitely affect their demand for some certain goods, if not all. Increase in the income of a consumer will lead to increase in his income, will lead to increase in the quantity demanded of goods by him, while decrease in his income would lead to decrease in his demand for certain goods. Cut.